Kevin Hart's Don't F This Up depicts the events leading up to Hart stepping down as Oscars host in 2018 in response to the ferocious backlash about the comedian's tweets from years prior. This series is an honest and fascinating exploration of his personal experiences on the receiving end of that outrage and the lessons he learned from those experiences. I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby. I'm here with none other than Kevin Hart himself. Kevin, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on your first ever Emmy nomination.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm excited, extremely excited. You know, this is a big deal. It's something that I'm definitely blown away by, and you know, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the amazing team that I had that worked on this project with me, and for all of the fans that have supported it, that have watched it, and have had rave reviews about it. It's just dope when you put your mind to things and you see it come out exactly the way you wanted it to. So,
Yeah.
This type of notoriety is mind blowing as well.
I was thinking, Kevin Hart got a nomination at the Emmys. That's awesome. And I looked and I thought, did he have a comedy special that I wasn't aware of? And then I realized, oh no, this is for Don't Fuck This Up. That's fantastic. And you're in the reality category, which is not somewhere that I normally would have expected to see you. What does it mean to you to receive a pat on the back from the TV Academy for a series where it's kind of a bit outside your wheelhouse? It's not about your comedy necessarily; it's about your story.
Well, I think any type of recognition to your craft in any way, shape, or form is always welcome. It's not what I seek. I'm not doing it for this moment here. It's about the fans, and it's about doing what I feel is good. What I feel is servicing my art within my talent. So when you do that and it goes above and beyond what you thought it would, that's dope. This is a dope thing. So, when I hear nomination and it's attached to this particular IP, I mean, it's already a win for me then. At this point, whatever happens after happens, but this is a W just to be considered at all, or, in the category. It's a big bonus. So my team and myself and my company, we've already had our celebration because, it just shows that we're doing good stuff, and that's what we're in the business to do.
Absolutely. This day and age, we hear so much about cancel culture, and you've talked about it at length with various interviews. But my question is, we don't often see celebrities shine a light on that outrage and that experience as honestly and openly as you have done. And so why did you want to make this fly on the wall series?
Just because it gave another look behind the curtain, right? When you talk about being transparent, I think it's good to see it on so many different levels. I'm as authentic can be, and whether it's positive, negative, good, bad, or ugly, I have no problem with being an open book. It is what it is. This is what I chose to do. My life is in front of you, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. So when you talk about a culture, and what this culture's priority is, to me, I'm just about improvement. I'm about growth. I'm about always getting better. But I also have an understanding that you don't know that you need to get better until you do dumb shit that you never planned on doing, that puts you in a situation of instant regret. We're human, and as humans, you make mistakes, you fuck up, and the reason why the title of this particular doc was "Don't Fuck This Up," because that's what you hear the most when you get to the top of said mountain, or when you're at the top of this thing, whatever that thing may be for whomever, regardless of what you do or what you have thrown all of your blood, sweat, and tears into. When you get to the top, the biggest thing is, hey man, don't fuck this up. You here. Yeah. And that becomes a challenge within itself. So, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you're faced with obstacles and opportunities and ways to possibly put you in a position to fuck it up. And if you happen to, there should be opportunity for recovery. You know, life doesn't end, it continues, and life is going to go on with or without you. So as you acquire more knowledge and information, you get better. You become a person that can educate and pass down information to this younger generation. But if you never get the chance to show that you're remorseful or that you regret or that you're sorry, well, then what the fuck are we doing? Like, what do we expect? Now, some things I do understand deserve a drastic, you know, repercussion. Some things, hey man, you did X, Y, and Z, and that is just not excusable or explainable. And that hammer should be put down, but you can't pack everything into that same space. Everything doesn't fit there.
No, exactly. That's why in the first episode you say you have no idea what perfection is until you've embraced your imperfection and embrace your fuck ups. And if nothing else, I hope people watching the series learn that about themselves, because I sure as hell did. And but then I wonder, like, you know, because you're a really busy guy, you've got so much going on, and then this thing hit you like a tsunami. And I just wonder, like, years later, will you eventually tire of talking about this chapter in your life? Like, are you hoping that you can eventually just move on and people will want to talk about your comedy and about your, you know, all the good things going on in your life?
Absolutely, but you got to understand what people like. People love negative, you know.
Yeah.
People love a tragedy. People love bad. You don't really talk about good that much. For some reason, good doesn't track at the same rate and speed that negative does. And it's not that it's not happening. It is, but we just don't seem to pay attention to it as much as we do the negative. So, you know, in a perfect world, I would love for it to go away. I would love for this to be the last thing that I would have to talk about. I don't understand, you know, what else a person could do, from not only apologizing but from truly understanding where the rights and wrongs were, from really identifying mistakes, misunderstandings, you know, really truly saying it, exploring it to the deepest level, and then going, you know what, here's where I was wrong, and this is where the disconnect came. And I now understand why the high level of frustration was had against me. And in return, I hope you understand what a disconnect was because of what I thought that it was. I thought that it was an attack on me, and it wasn't. I thought that you were saying that I'm a homophobic man and I don't like, and I'm like, that's the furthest from the truth. And to think that, and you know, now I'm my panties in the bunch. I'm over here flustered because you're not going to tell me what I am. I know who I am, and I'm not going to have to prove who I am. So now I got this cocky attitude. But in return, it was really about saying that you don't condone this. You don't condone violence in any way, in any way, shape, or form. That's pretty much it. And I missed that. I missed that opportunity to see that thing because I got in my way. So when I acknowledge that, I feel like other people should go, nah, that's actually, he's actually, I mean, what it's called growth.
Yeah, that's because guess what, everybody? Kevin Hart's a fucking human being. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I found so fascinating, because it was my hometown. Like, you know, when you were in Melbourne and you did that comedy special, Irresponsible, you were killing it, and you were so happy. You had just received news you were going to host the Oscars, one of your dreams. What I loved is the way the show's edited. The next night after, when you're in Sydney, you could just see how gutted you were. You felt under attack. But typical Kevin Hart style, the show went on. You had thousands of screaming fans at Kudos Bank Arena. But what a difference it made in those couple of nights. Like, and I just wanted you to take us back to how you were feeling. I know you've litigated this to death, but personally, because this show teaches us empathy, how were you actually feeling? Because you looked really gutted.
It was definitely, you know, it's a low moment. You're out of the country. you got great news, you're on a high, and then within a day, that whole mood was changed and things altered. So, of course it's tough. But like you said, I'm a man that truly believes in you can't stop. You gotta keep going. And once again, life doesn't stop for nobody. So I just pushed on. I pushed on and pushed through. And now that it's being recognized and these nominations are real, and of course you're doing interviews based off of it, it really does make me go back to a place of, at the time, my frustration levels grew even more because it was almost like people forgot how to be people.
Yeah.
And when you're in it, you're like, are we serious? Like, when did we get here? When did we get here? Like my son don't know shit. He doesn't. He thinks he does. My son thinks he knows everything. And it's not until I tell him certain things that he goes, oh, I get it now. Oh, I understand. So you can always think you can assume. But in real life, you don't. And somebody's always going to have more information than you have.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to be able to tell you something that you don't know because we don't have it all. We're not perfect. So you need the helping aid of others. You need the knowledge that comes from within. So in this case, it wasn't until that knowledge that I wasn't privy to got brought to me that made me go, oh my God, wow.
Yeah.
I never saw it like that, which is the case in a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody needs to just give you a better understanding. I didn't start buying real estate until somebody really broke down to me in layman's terms how real estate worked.
Yeah.
I didn't start investing until somebody really broke down to me how it worked because I wasn't privy to the information. That wasn't my world. So when things aren't your world and you don't have the knowledge, you have to be taught.
Yeah.
It can't be assumed that I know.
That's right. You don't know everything. If you did, I'd say that's bullshit. You know what? You don't come across as very curated or phony or pretentious. And a lot of high-profile people who are in the spotlight are very curated. Like, do you sometimes think that you want to go back in time and go and maybe become someone who people don't get to see behind the curtain as much as we do with you?
No. I wouldn't want to go back in time and do anything different. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to change a thing about anything in my life. Any downfall, any bad moment. I don't want to go back and take any of them back. And the reason why is because each of those stupid moments, idiotic moments, help shape and mold me to this.
Yeah.
They help put me in a mental space to be a better version of myself for where I am now. And I needed those stages. I needed those steps.
Yeah.
It can't all go at the same time. Can't all have it at the same time.
No.
I don't want to be walking around and you think I'm the perfect man. I don't want that. I don't want that.
What I also really admire, because I subscribe to this notion, is that it's the best or nothing else, right? You never stop hustling. You're working all the time because if you want something, you've got to work at it to get it, right? The foot on the gas and you hauling ass is a great way to be. Are you of the view that if you're ambitious, you need to strike while the iron's hot because things change and fame is fleeting?
Yeah. You can't, and by you can't, I'm saying, I don't ever want to ignore that, right? When you have the attention of, sometimes it's best to say more. I got your attention, so let me get some other stuff off my chest.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than just the movie or the show. It's about the relationships that you can grab onto while having the attention of. And for me, it's not just building the talent side of it, it's making sure the business side of it catches up as well. So that iron has been hot for a while, and not because I'm, just lucky at this point. It's you're putting in the work,
Yeah.
and when you're putting in the work and you're really trying to make calculated moves, sometimes it can go right. So back on some, I hope it doesn't change, but it's been quite the ride thus far.
And Kevin Hart, the comedian, not necessarily the celebrity. I always wonder this when I speak to comedians. Like Ricky Gervais told me that you can joke about anything; it's all up for grabs. Nicole Byer told me that's not necessarily the case. It's about why are you making jokes about something that might offend someone. Where do you sit on that spectrum?
For me, I think that in today's time you have to be mindful. It's we're living in a time where the sensitivity levels, of course, have heightened, but we can also be aware. And um, to offend just because, or disrespect just because, um, it's not okay, right? Like you can get your point across and get your joke across while still maintaining a level of respect or preferencing things a certain way. Like there's ways to say a bunch of stuff. There's
Yeah,
ways to say it, and that's where your job and your talent has to truly come into play.
yeah,
Like I said, when you look at these, this moments from old, it's been over 11 years. You haven't seen me joke or say anything even close to it. You know what I mean? It's you adjust and you adapt and you improve. That's
yeah.
how it should be. So
Oh,
that's just for comics, for people in general. But right now for comics, just being respectful, in my opinion,
yeah,
is important. And that doesn't mean that it has to be for every other comedian, but for me, I'm definitely mindful of
yeah.
some of the things I say.
And as long as you're funny. um,
Yes.
Final question before we let you go. You're renowned for the grueling world comedy tours. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Have you given a lot of thought to what this will look like in years to come, post-pandemic, and how comedy you'll be able to get your comedy out there in real life?
Um, I think comedy for me, if I could just use myself as an example, comedy has to be my life, right? If you notice, I pride myself on telling my story from my POV. It's 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 a big deal. It's a big deal, and the reason why is because I'm giving you a bird's eye view with my perspective. And I'm also allowing you to see my world, my growth, and how my journey is constantly changing. And I think that it's like it's just a special thing. It's a special thing to say, wow, man, I remember when. And now look, I remember when his kids were 2. God, his kids are 14 and 12. God, oh my God. I remember when he first got divorced. Now he's married again. Wow, he's having another wife. That baby's coming. Like it's a journey. It's a great experience. So for me, for my art, for my story, it has to be transparent. It has to be authentic, and it has to be true to what I am. And I think I've done a good job of staying true to that. And some people want different things. Some people are great with what they're getting. Ultimately, I'm always going to be myself, and I'm gonna be as transparent. There's going to be a lot of self-deprecation. There's going to be a lot of the way that I see things, and I think that's the beautiful thing about being comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody go to Gold Derby, make your predictions. Maybe you want to predict this show. And in the meantime, Kevin, we want to thank you for your time today and good luck at the Emmys this year.
Thank you so much, man. Great talk. Take it easy.
You too.